places on Earth that seem utterly untouchable: harsh terrains, extreme climates, or even remote spots in the middle of vast oceans. Yet, with relentless determination, humans have turned the impossible into reality, creating architectural wonders beyond imagination. Join us as we explore 15 incredible marvels built in locations where survival itself seems unlikely. Can you guess where these places are? Keep watching to uncover the shocking truths. Icehotel Ice House, Jukkasjärvi, in Sweden. Nestled in the village of Jukkasjärvi, deep in Sweden's Lapland, the Ice Hotel is unlike anything else on Earth. A luxury hotel built entirely from ice and snow. Each November, when temperatures regularly drop below -4 degrees Fahrenheit, dozens of artists and architects from across the globe gather here. They harvest crystal clear ice from the nearby Torn River, shaping it into a brand new ice hotel with a fresh design and theme each year. Come spring, the entire structure melts away, only to be reborn the next winter as a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Located just above the Arctic Circle, far from major cities, the Ice Hotel's extreme climate and short construction window make building and even reaching it a challenge. Every piece of lighting, decor, and furniture must be hauled in along snow-covered, slippery roads. Most visitors fly into Kiruna before driving through the frozen wilderness to reach this icy wonderland. Yet, it's exactly this raw environment that makes the experience unforgettable. Guests can sleep on reindeer hide-covered ice beds, sip cocktails from intricately carved ice glasses, admire stunning ice sculptures, and, if lucky, witness the magical northern lights right outside their door. The Ice Hotel isn't just an architectural marvel. It's a testament to human creativity, resilience, and our ability to turn the harshest conditions into breathtaking beauty. Hanging Cliffside Monasteries, China. The Cliffside Monasteries of China stand as breathtaking proof of the extraordinary union between faith, architecture, and the human will to conquer nature. The most famous is the Hanging Monastery, or Xuankong Temple, in Shanxi Province. Built more than 15 centuries ago, it clings to a sheer cliff face. Perched over 245 feet above the ground, the location seems almost impossible for construction, not only perilous but incredibly difficult to access. Every beam, stone, and tool had to be carried by hand along narrow, treacherous mountain paths. The monastery is anchored by a complex system of wooden beams driven deep into the rock, providing both stability and protection from floods and storms below. Inside, it houses a remarkable blend of Buddhist, Taoist, and Confucian elements, expressed through statues, murals, and sacred layouts, making it not just a place of worship, but a cultural and spiritual treasure. From its lofty position, visitors are rewarded with sweeping views of the valley below, along with an overwhelming sense of isolation from the noisy world. Reaching it, however, is an adventure in itself. Winding mountain roads and narrow wooden walkways hugging the cliff make the journey both thrilling and unforgettable. These monasteries prove that with unwavering devotion and ingenuity, humanity can create wonders even where it seems impossible to lay a single brick. Katskhi Pillar, Georgia, soaring nearly 130 feet into the sky over the Imereti region. The Katskhi Pillar is a colossal limestone monolith standing like nature's own watchtower above the valley. And perched right on top, one of the most remote and inaccessible religious sites in the world, the summit is barely large enough to hold a tiny chapel, a small wine cellar, and a few modest living quarters, a place where human willpower has truly defied the limits of geography. Building here was nothing short of a miracle. Every single stone and beam had to be hauled up by hand, at first using nothing more than ropes and crude pulleys. Scaling the pillar itself was a life-or-death climb, sheer vertical walls, no natural paths, and powerful winds that could turn one wrong step into a fatal fall. For centuries, this natural tower has been a symbol of spiritual separation from the earthly world. Monks came here to live in isolation, to pray and meditate, believing that the height and solitude brought them closer to God. Today, the Katskhi Pillar still stands not just as a feat of stone and mortar, but as a bold testament to human courage, devotion, and the relentless drive to reach for the divine. Las Lajas Church, Colombia. Perched high above the Guaidara River in the border town of Ipiales, Las Lajas Sanctuary is hailed as one of the most breathtaking religious structures on Earth, not only for its exquisite neo-Gothic design, but also for the sheer audacity of its location. The church is built directly across the Guaidara Gorge, with its stone bridge stretching roughly 160 feet to connect the two sheer rock faces, standing over 300 feet above the rushing waters below. Constructing on such a site was nothing short of an engineering miracle. Every stone and piece of material had to be transported through treacherous mountain terrain, while workers toiled on narrow ledges where the smallest misstep could prove fatal. The fast-moving river below made setting foundations and supports even more dangerous. The current sanctuary, completed in 1949, replaced smaller chapels that had stood here since the 18th century, inspired by a legend of the Virgin Mary's apparition within the gorge. Covering nearly 13,000 square feet, the church can hold thousands of worshipers, and its elegant white and gray facade blends seamlessly with the surrounding cliffs. Today, Las Lajas is not only a revered Catholic pilgrimage site, but also a striking testament to human ingenuity, proof that even the most impossible landscapes can be transformed into timeless masterpieces. Don't take your eyes off. There are many surprises ahead. Like and share. Meteora monasteries. Greece. On the tops of giant sandstone pillars reaching straight up to the sky in Greece, the monasteries of Meteora rise like a miracle suspended between clouds and wind, majestic, awe-inspiring, and defying every human limit. Centuries ago, long before roads or carved pathways, this was a sanctuary for monks seeking to withdraw from the world, far from war and chaos. Yet this heaven-bound location came with extraordinary challenges. Every stone, every beam of timber had to be hoisted skyward by rope and pulley, or bundled into swaying nets dangling high above the ground. A single strong gust of wind or the slightest mistake could cost a worker's life. They labored in punishing conditions, battling fierce winds, blistering sunlight by day, and freezing cold at night with no way out if disaster struck. Meteora's very existence is both a feat of engineering and a triumph of human endurance. Today, these monasteries still crown the cliffs, standing as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and a living reminder that what seems impossible can become reality when people dare to push beyond their limits. Hohenzollern Castle, Germany. Stunning over the Hohenzollern mountain at nearly 2,800 feet above sea level, Hohenzollern Castle looks like it steps straight out of a fairy tale. But behind its breathtaking beauty lies a grueling story of construction against the odds. The steep mountain terrain turned the transport of every stone and timber beam into a punishing ordeal. Without the modern transport routes we have today, materials had to be hauled up, twisting. Treacherous paths where a single misstep could mean certain death. The biting cold and dense fog at this altitude made the work even more unforgiving. In winter, ice and snow would lock the site in place, halting construction entirely. In summer, sudden storms and fierce winds threatened to undo weeks of progress. The site's isolation didn't just test the workers' endurance, it forced them to labor with limited food, water, and rest. Yet through sheer determination and the desire to create an impenetrable stronghold, Hohenzollern Castle was built and has stood for centuries. Today, it remains not only a symbol of the Hohenzollern dynasty's power, but also a testament to humanity's ability to conquer even the harshest of landscapes. The journey is long. Do you want to know more? Like the video now. Mont Saint-Michel Island, France. Rising from a tiny rocky island off the coast of Normandy, Mont Saint-Michel is surrounded by some of the fastest and most unpredictable tides in the world. Twice a day, the ocean swallows the land bridge entirely, cutting the island off from the mainland for hours at a time. That left medieval builders with only a narrow window of a few short hours to haul materials and supplies across. The rest of the day, the area was a deep, fast-moving sea. The island's terrain posed its own unforgiving challenges. Sheer rock foundations, cramped space, and no direct land connection made constructing a massive stone abbey and fortress seem almost impossible. In the Middle Ages, laborers faced constant battles against time, harsh weather, and the limits of human strength, relying on temporary pathways or small boats to transport every single stone. However, with extraordinary skill and determination, they transformed what was once thought to be an impossible sight into a lasting wonder that has stood for centuries. Today, Mont Saint-Michel remains both a spiritual landmark and a shining testament to human ingenuity in the face of overwhelming odds. Burj Al Arab Hotel, Dubai, UAE, standing out among the turquoise water. The Burj Al Arab isn't just the ultimate symbol of Dubai's luxury, it's an engineering marvel. Built on an artificial island 920 feet offshore, this skyscraper hotel faced the full fury of the sea, pounding waves, high winds, and relentless desert heat all year round. Before the first stone could be laid, engineers drove hundreds of massive concrete piles deep into the seabed, then wrapped the entire island in a colossal rock barrier to guard against erosion. This man-made foundation had to withstand not only the weight of the 1.053-foot tower, but also the constant force of tides and the rare but brutal Arabian Gulf storms. Getting materials here was its own battle. Everything from steel and glass to its lavish interior fittings had to be ferried across a private bridge or shipped in by sea, and with daytime temperatures often soaring above 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Much of the construction took place at night to escape the searing heat. The result is a graceful sail-shaped structure, hailed as the world's first 7-star hotel, combining bold design with absolute luxury. The Burj Al Arab is proof that with will and technology, humans can build masterpieces even in places where the sea seems inviolable. Neuschwanstein Castle, Germany. Tucked away in the majestic mountains of Bavaria, Neuschwanstein Castle looks like it leapt straight out of a fairy tale. Yet it stands as a living testament to the human drive to conquer the impossible. In the late 19th century, before cranes, trucks, or concrete roads existed, every stone, some weighing over 50 pounds, was hauled up steep, twisting, rocky paths by horses and men, often slick with mountain mist. In winter, deep snow and sheets of ice froze the trail solid, while winds sharp enough to cut through skin slowed every movement to a crawl, sometimes at the risk of lives. In summer, torrential rains and sudden landslides could wipe away an entire scaffolding in a single night. Under such conditions, every step forward was a gamble against nature itself. And then there was King Ludwig II's vision pushing the challenge to its very limits. Towering spires that pierced the sky, walls both romantic and strong enough to withstand mountain winds. Builders worked with near-perfect precision, crafting intricate details while ensuring the entire structure held fast to the treacherous mountainside. Today, Neuschwanstein is celebrated worldwide for its dreamlike beauty, but few know the story behind it, a tale of sweat, blood, and an unshakable will. The next mystery awaits. Like and follow to keep exploring. Trollstigen Visitor Center, Norway. Deep in Norway's wild Romsdal Mountains, where the legendary Trollstigen Road twists and turns like a ribbon clinging to sheer cliffs, stands a structure that by all logic shouldn't exist. Building here meant defying both nature and engineering limits. The road is painfully narrow, with brutal inclines, blanketed by snow and ice for much of the year. Fierce winds and thick fog roll in without warning, and the construction season, barely a few short months before winter slams the door shut. And yet, Norwegian architects made the impossible possible. They created a visitor center clinging to the mountainside, with walkways and viewing platforms that stretch out over the void, giving travelers the sensation of floating between earth and sky. Every stone, every sheet of steel was hauled in through hairpin turns notorious for testing even the most skilled drivers. The materials weren't just chosen for strength against freezing winds and heavy snow. Their muted grays and browns blend seamlessly into the mountain, making the building feel like it's part of the rock itself. The result is a breathtaking fusion of architecture and wilderness, a place where you're sheltered, and yet completely exposed to nature's raw, untamed power. Saint-Michel d'Aiguille Chapel, France. In the storybook town of Le Puy-en-Velay, France, a volcanic needle of rock pierces the sky, and at its summit, perched as if by divine hand, stands a chapel more than 1,000 years old. The Saint-Michel d'Aiguille Chapel was built in 962 on an 82-meter-high volcanic spire, completely isolated from the world below. No road, no gentle slope, the only way up. 268 stone steps carved directly into the near-vertical rock face. For the medieval builders, this was a location most would have called impossible. Without cranes, without modern machines, every stone, every timber had to be carried by hand. Up those narrow, windswept steps. One wrong move, and man or material would tumble into the abyss below. Yet, driven by faith and an unshakable will, they completed their masterpiece. Today, the chapel remains both a place of pilgrimage and a symbol of human determination, proof that with enough courage and devotion, even the heavens themselves can be reached. Trollstigen Monastery, Bhutan. Clinging to a sheer cliff face nearly 900 meters above the Paro Valley, Bhutan, Trollstigen, the Tiger's Nest, is one of the world's most awe-inspiring and sacred monasteries. Even today, with modern machines and technology, this location would be considered almost impossible to build upon. First constructed in 1692 around the cave where Guru Rinpoche, the most revered saint in Tibetan Buddhism, is said to have meditated. The monastery was created without roads, without cranes, without shortcuts. Every stone, every timber, every piece of metal had to be carried by hand along narrow mountain trails, some barely the width of a single footstep. Clinging to the edge of a 3,000-foot drop, the structure is anchored directly into the cliff, as if born from the mountain itself, defying storms, resisting landslides, and standing unshaken for centuries. Ancient builders studied each ledge and crevice, finding ways to secure foundations and balance angles, all while working in thin, frigid air, surrounded by swirling clouds. Nowadays, the Tiger's Nest remains both a marvel of engineering and a spiritual beacon, a testament to the lengths humanity will go in pursuit of faith and the eternal. Cabin on the Drina River Rock, Serbia. Balanced on a lone rock in the middle of Serbia's Drina River, this tiny wooden cabin has become a living testament to human determination, proof that we can build even where it seems utterly impossible. The rock has no connection to the shore, no solid foundation beyond itself, and sits in the path of powerful currents. In flood season, the water surges with relentless force. In winter, it's locked under ice and snow. There's no road, no bridge, no safe anchor point. On paper, it's a ridiculous place to build anything. And yet, in 1968, a group of local young men decided to do just that. They ferried each plank of wood by kayak, makeshift rafts, and sometimes swam through freezing water to get the materials onto the rock. What began as a simple shelter for resting between paddling trips slowly transformed into a fully built cabin, one that has withstood decades of floods, storms, and ice, each time nature tore it down. The townspeople of Bajina Basta rebuilt it, as if daring the river to try again. Today, it stands as a beloved local landmark and one of Serbia's most unique tourist attractions, a lone house, standing firm against time, tide, and the unyielding will of the Drina. Solvay Hut, Switzerland. The Solvay Hut, Europe's highest mountain shelter, stands perched right on the spine of Switzerland's legendary Matterhorn, at a staggering 13,133 feet above sea level. It's a living testament to extraordinary human determination in a place most would think impossible to build. This is no ordinary rest stop. Built in 1915, in just 5 days, the hut took shape thanks to materials hauled up via a temporary cable line from the Solvay Hut. Already sitting at 10,696 feet, the result, a compact refuge, just big enough for 10 people, exists solely for emergencies. When blinding fog rolls in or a brutal snowstorm strikes, It's a temporary haven clinging to the mountain at 13,133 feet, only 1,558 feet below the Matterhorn summit. In 1976, an emergency telephone line was installed, linking the Solvay Hut directly to rescue services, a reminder of just how prepared you need to be in this perilous high alpine zone. The Solvay Hut isn't a tourist destination. It's a symbol of mountaineering mastery at the limits of human endurance. A place where even the smallest mistake could mean you'll never reach the top of the Matterhorn. These extraordinary structures stand not only as marks of relentless creativity and resilience, but also as powerful testaments to humanity's ability to conquer seemingly impossible limits. They leave us in awe of the human spirit facing the fiercest forces of nature. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue uncovering more of our planet's incredible mysteries together. See you in the next video.